This is December 2023. It's been 22 months since Russia attacked and illegally invaded Ukraine. The entire world has condemned Russia and placed international sanctions of every possible kind on it. Russia has become the most sanctioned country in the history of humankind. Yet Russia is not defeated. Today, I'd like to tell you why. Because you need to know the truth. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin, and welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS, or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic, and some emotions too, because I am a human being after all. Today, I will talk of the reasons why Russia has not been defeated at this point. First things first. Today's stream is the result of an extensive research. First, I've looked at numerous kinds of data. I listened to different political scientists and economists, to military experts who I respect. I've been identifying the pieces of a puzzle and putting them together. And this is what I've come up with. Let's start at where we are standing at right now in December of 2023. Russian armed forces are still fighting in Ukraine. The war is still going on. Russia annexed a few Ukrainian provinces, but lost some back to Ukraine. Ukraine launched the counteroffensive last summer. The results have been mixed. The bloodshed continues. Now it appears that the death count is in the hundreds of thousands of people on both sides. Although we don't know the exact numbers, at least from the Russian side, they have not been released. That's a well-kept secret, state secret now. The entire world has been standing behind Ukraine, although the voices of skepticism start getting loud. The international community seems to be getting tired of the war, but I want to say that again. Ukraine is still enjoying great support, both military and financial, from many countries all over the world. Russia has been hurting financially, economically, but not enough to collapse. It has very few allies left, friends, allies, you can call them whatever. The countries that still talk and they still do business with Russia. Among them are Iran, North Korea, China, and Belarus. And this is where we're standing right now. And then this is a very, very brief explanation. Now, I would like to discuss... just hang on a second. I would like to discuss in more details of what exactly, why exactly Russia has not been defeated, and where it's standing both economically and military, I usually don't comment on anything military because I'm not an expert. I don't know much about it. But for this particular conversation, I will. I have researched some things, and I, find them absolutely, they make sense. Now, let's jump right into the reasons why Russia has not been defeated. The reason number one, in my opinion, is the most important reason. Money. Money is behind everything. Always look for money. Money is the foundation of Putin's power. It's insurance that in Russia, he can do anything he wants to, including to continue waging the war on Ukraine. including to continue killing people, including continue mobilizing more, throw into the front lines, including to continue manufacturing weapons. So Russia largely depends on export of mineral resources, anything that is extracted from the earth. Among the mineral resources, there are two stars, oil and natural gas. They are Russia's bread makers. I've talked about it in numerous streams. They amount to almost half of Russian budget. The foundation of country's well-being, so to speak. And the last year, a group of countries decided to ban buying Russian oil. And Russia, for some unknown to me reasons, I think I have an idea, but they're absolutely crazy. Russia turned off the supply of natural gas to its best customers, European countries, by itself. So anyway, last year, a group of countries decided to stop buying Russian oil, to make it illegal. And they were Russia's best customers ever, best paying, territorially, the customers were right next to Russia, so transportation of oil and gas wasn't too expensive. It was actually cheap. The European Union countries. The USA placed another sanction onto Russia called the price cap, oil price cap, meaning that no one is allowed to buy Russian oil anymore at the prices above 60 American dollars, regardless what current market price is. These sanctions were designed and implemented to cut Russia off large and constant revenue it had been enjoying for decades, for generations. The idea was not to kick Russia out of global markets, hydrocarbon markets, completely. In that case, there would be chaos. And imagine so much oil and gas just being taken off market. The prices would just skyrocket, and it would hurt the economies of pretty much every country in the world. No, the idea was to greatly reduce Russia's oil and gas revenues. So Russian economy would suffer, and Russia would not be able to continue the war in Ukraine. That makes very much sense. The intention was right, but the execution was wrong. Many mistakes were made. These sanctions placed upon Russia were not global, not placed upon Russia by all countries in the world, by the United Nations, nothing like that. They were local. Local measures, meaning countries were placing them individually. And the USA, of course, is the biggest player among all, and the USA, American sanctions have been the most serious, so to speak. So Russia kept on selling its oil. It was selling natural gas to Europe until September, late August of 2022, and receiving money for that. And oil, it kept selling until December 6th of last year, 2022. Some countries kept on buying oil, and they're still buying Russian oil now. For example, Egypt, Iran, China, and India. Russian oil would be shipped there, refined there, and then would sold as oil refinery products such as gasoline to all over the world. India particularly has been big at that. And the USA has kept its eyes closed because India is an ally of America in its stand against China, closest ally against China. So the sanctions were announced and implemented, but the problem was Until recently, it was really difficult to control them, to check on how they're executed. Therefore, Russia kept on selling its oil, but it was making first. The idea was it would make money, continue to make money, but not as much as before. But the result was absolutely different, opposite. The prices, when the sanctions were announced, the global market went into hiatus. The news of this international sanctions scared markets, and the price of oil skyrocketed. Folks, remember how much you were paying at the gas pumps last, March 2022, April, May 2022? A lot. So much, it was like a catastrophe. So, guess who benefited directly from every dollar that you're paying at the gas station? Yes, Russia. The money went to Russia. In the first 10 months of 2022, there was this very odd sanction situation where the sanctions were announced, but they could not be checked how they were executed by anyone. And that resulted that Russia was simply under the rain of money. Literally. The extra revenues even covered the loss of natural gas export to Europe, and I remind you, 300 billion US dollars have been frozen. Were frozen in abroad, in other countries' banks that belong to Russian government, Russian reserve fund, so to speak, savings account. So half of it was placed outside of Russia, and the Russian government was making money in it, interest, and that money was frozen. But Russia was making so much money from selling oil at super high prices that it made up all the loss. At the same time, Russian economy started running a fever. The sanctions, and I'm talking of all kinds of sanctions, not just oil and gas, they have been felt. They started being felt last summer. There have been other events that impacted the economy greatly. Among them are about 3 million Russian men, around 3.5% of country's entire labor force fled Russia. All Western companies, well, at least absolute majority of them, left Russia, taking along the technologies that they brought to Russia a long time ago, and they cut jobs. They stopped paying taxes. Investors, foreign investors, there were quite a few in Russia, they left. Local investors, Russian investors, they left too, because investors are smart people. They're not going to stay in Russia when there's such situation going on, when the government confiscates, basically steals assets, money, everything. So everyone's left. There are some other events happening as well. I call this situation the perfect storm in the Russian economy. I discuss it from time to time. I have discussed it before. So please check my streams and keep on coming back. So you will hear more of this perfect storm that is about Russia right now. So there have been couple drivers that have been pulling the economy forward. And that's the revival of, the biggest one is the revival of the military-industrial complex. The Russian government has been pouring that extra income it received from extra prices, the high prices of oil in 2022. It's been pouring into the military-industrial complex to produce new weapons and everything military-related. And literally, it's been pouring money there. In one hand, we have military-industrial complex, and other hand, we have everything else, economy-wise. And everything else has been suffering greatly. Hey, the sanctions, they're working at the certain sectors of the economy. And there's a war going on, and Russians getting poorer by the week, and the inflation is galloping, and the exchange rate is unfavorable, okay? Russian ruble, American dollar exchange is really bad. So this is on one hand. But in another hand, this extra money the government poured into weapons, uniforms, etc., it balanced this fever that everything else is having, okay? I hope I'm making it clear enough. When the Western economies tell that the Russian economy grew a little in 2023 instead of free-falling, this is the explanation. There's so much money being poured here that it kind of balances out this catastrophe that is happening right here. Russian government even balanced out the situation with the soldiers at the front line in Ukraine. They literally buy soldiers' lives using the extra oil money that come from the West. That coffin money, they're called the coffin money in Russia, they are the second driver of Russian economy virtual growth. Well, I'm telling you, I'm calling this virtual growth because I don't believe it's real. What happened is poor people, they were given an opportunity to receive lots of money, amounts of money they had never seen in their entire lives, okay? Just little tiny catch. They would have to sign up and go and fight in Ukraine. And many did. And, they started getting lots of money, sending back to the families. And guess what a poor person does when he or she gets lots of money all at once? Starts spending. I did not hear of one soldier and his family investing money. They're all spent. They buy TV sets, they buy, new kitchens, they go and travel, have vacations, so they basically spend money away. And that's driving the economy too. That's driver number one. Not as big as the military-industrial complex, but that's considerable. And driver number three, Russian people have been taking out personal loans, commercial banks, like there's no tomorrow. Literally, right now, there's an absolute record high of personal loans outstanding. This clearly a bubble, in my humble opinion, that I think that it'll bust soon, and it's going to be a big bang. But for now, they're taking out loans and spending money that the banks give them. Well, it's actually, this wave is nearing its end because the key interest rate increased to 15%, and right now it's just absolutely insane to take out personal loans. So the interest rate is just killing people. So the loans, they started slowing down, taking out the loans, but still there is so much credit debt right now, loans outstanding, it's incredible. Record high, I think, at all times. So these are the main reasons that Russian economy is not at this point laying at the bottom of the ocean like the Titanic. Well, it's not like it's doing fabulous or outstanding. No. There are many indicators that it's sinking, but it's not sinking as fast as many people thought it would be, including myself. I personally thought that Russian economy would sink faster. Well, I think that I missed the mark by a few months. So, to continue the analogy with the Titanic, imagine a situation where the vessel hits the iceberg and then the crew quickly brings two large pumps, water pumps, installs and starts pumping water that is flooding the compartment. It starts pumping that water out back into the ocean. That would not save Titanic, but it would definitely slow it down sinking. And this is what is happening to the Russian economy in very simple words. That's why Russian economy has not been defeated yet. Yet is the key word here. Now, the reason number two why Russia has not been defeated, has not been, forgive me, has not been defeated yet is, believe it or not, Soviet military inheritance and outdated technology. How so? Well, this is how. Russian army turned out to be, what would be the best word to describe? A shell. A shell. All might, if one, that mighty, shiny, brand new, technologically advanced army, if one looked from very far, but if one got closer and would take a very close look, examine the army, it would see that there's nothing inside, it's empty shell. And this is exactly what happened. You see, money for the Russian army was being spent for over 23 years. Lots of money was allocated to the budget, to the army from the budget. Lots of money was allocated to update, renovate, maintain the army, and the Russian taxpayers were paying for that. But the money was spent. The government financed the army all these years, but the money was stolen. And the result of that could be seen around Kiev in March of 2022, in Kharkov in September 2022, and in Kherson in October 2022, and in general, in this war with Ukraine. Russian armed forces turned out to be a fake army that can't fight well. But what Russia had, and what turned out to be at least temporarily lifesaver for Russia, is, for Russian government, not for Russia, was the legacy of the USSR. Soviet Union produced so much weapons that in 30 years, the generals, the ones responsible in charge, they couldn't steal and sell it all. Okay, they were stealing, all right. If you want to take a closer look how they were stealing it, you should watch the movie called Nicolas Cage. I forgot, I'm sorry. I'll put it in the link below. Check this out. This movie is based on a true story. Just watch. It's a good movie, and it's about how military business was being done in Russia for 23 years before the war with Ukraine. So anyway, the USSR produced so much weapons that they couldn't steal and sell it all in 30 years. So many old tanks, cannons, guns, ammo, anything. It was stored and, it existed. Ancient and outdated, yes. But there was stuff. It existed. It was in the warehouses somewhere very far, but it was there. The factories that they built that stuff 40, 50 years, they still exist. They still exist now. And they can repair that stuff that they built. They can produce spare parts, shells, things like that. They still exist, and this is the core of current day Russia's military-industrial complex. So what they did is the government started pouring money into the military-industrial complex, just that I explained a couple minutes ago, and they took that money from the oil exports and started pumping it to produce more outdated old Asian tanks, guns, ammo, only in large quantities, in huge quantities. It's easy to produce in numbers because it's old technology, it's primitive, okay? All you need is metal, pretty much, and, the blueprints, and that's it. very little in terms of semiconductors, stuff like that. And on top of that, Iran and some other countries, I'm not naming other countries because there's no evidence, they're just rumors. In Iran, there is evidence. So Iran and some other countries have supplied advanced weapons, semiconductors, and other necessary military technology to Russia. For example, attack drones. To sum up, Russia is pushing in quantity, not quality. Okay, and that's somehow keeping the Russian military afloat. And why? I'm going to tell you in the reason number 3 why Russia has not been defeated. Its military approach. This one is very short and easy to understand and short to tell. There is a fundamental difference between Russia and the Western countries, the Western world. And that difference is the value of human life. The Western powers have an approach to conducting wars where emphasis is on safety of soldiers, safety of people, the value of human life. So they use highly technological weapons and they conduct quick military conflicts, operations, They do not plan their military strategy for long wars that last years. No, they send their high-tech stuff, like drones. They send in small teams of soldiers, but extremely highly educated and skilled. And what they do, they execute precision strikes with minimal civilian casualties, and that way they end the conflicts very quickly. So they do not plan on years and years and years of warfare like World War I or World War II. Russian approach is very different. The value of human life in Russia is nearly zero. A long time ago, I even made a live stream about that. Russian government announces mobilization, mobilizes 350,000 people. Some say up to 1 million, But let's just rely on the official data released by the Russian Armed Forces. 350,000 people. And it gives them old hardware, outdated stuff, and it throws them to the front lines without, training, without teaching, nothing like that. Just go to the front lines. This is it. And if 300,000 people are killed, they're used as a cannon fodder. If they're killed, no big deal. The Russian government will compensate the families, so they will keep the families silent, shut up. They'll shut them up. They have plenty of money for that, from that extra oil revenues from the West. And they will mobilize twice as many next time. 700,000 people. They don't care. People to them is nothing. And this is a big problem for Ukraine. Russia has 145 million people, and Ukraine is about 40 million. And Ukraine simply does not have as many men, nearly as many men, to mobilize them as Russia does. And this is where we are now. Remember Bakhmut? How many thousands, tens of thousands men Russia got killed when Russia was trying to take Bakhmut over? It's just point of no interest, really, just a name. And Russian armed forces were trying to capture Bakhmut for 13 months. How many tens of thousands of people were killed then? Or right now, it's Avdiivka. And there have been other places too. It's Russian army just doesn't care about safety of the soldiers. The military tactic they use is absolutely criminal and horrendous. If you think about it, this is blood-chilling, but it works. It has worked so far. Now, the reason number 4 why Russia is not defeated yet is that the sanctions against regular people, us, against me, and the ones like me, the Western politicians, they created this picture in their heads, and they actually created the sanctions. They thought that by pressuring people inside and outside Russia, regular people just like me, rich and poor, they will cause social unrest. And that social unrest will grow and eventually will the regime, Putin and his friends, would be overthrown. Okay? And the emphasis was on the oligarchs. Now, oligarchs are the richest Russian people, okay, who own tons of Russian riches. Well, you all heard of Russian oligarchs. And the idea was to place sanctions, to create personal sanctions against oligarchs, against these people. So they are greatly limited in their rights in the West. They will have their assets confiscated. They will not be able to transfer money. They won't be able to use Western banks. They won't be able to use to dock their yachts, and so this idea was to make their lives absolutely miserable. And the politicians, the Western politicians, who thought of this brilliant approach, they thought the oligarchs buy power in Russia, but they made a fundamental mistake. You see, one of the biggest problems that West has right now towards Russia is that it doesn't understand how Russia works. They judge using their own values. They judge by themselves, but Russia and Russian government, they're absolutely different. They are as if they were Martians, okay? In Russia, it's very simple. In Russia, money, huge money, does not buy power. It's absolutely the opposite. It's the power that fetches you money. Oligarchs in Russia are not in charge. Siloviki are. Siloviki are those who are the skeleton of Putin's system. They are the ones who are armed and have legal right to use violence against Russian citizens, against oligarchs as well. Oligarchs are just people who are led by the Kremlin to own some assets, to run some assets. The real owners, they're in the Kremlin. They're the politicians. They're Siloviki. Okay, and instead of creating social unrest, this situation, this personal sanctions against people, they have upset people. And the Russian government didn't have to invent anything. They just told everyone, look what they're doing to you. It's not us, it's them. They're not putting sanctions upon us, they're putting upon you. They're making your life miserable. They're switching Russian banks off SWIFT, so you cannot transfer money to your relatives or receive money from anywhere in the world. It's you, it's not us, okay? They're not targeting us, they're targeting you. Or they do not issue your visas anymore, you cannot travel. Well, they're doing it to you. And that made it very, very difficult for a lot of Russians. I know even a few people who went back to Russia from Uzbekistan for this reason, because they just cannot go any further. They cannot go to the countries they were thinking of going in the first place. The countries so simply shut their borders, don't let them in. And to top it off, somehow, I think it was absolutely a stupid decision. The Western politicians have caught the ability of the Russians to transfer money, the capital, out of Russia. So instead of taking the money and sending it out of the country someplace, I don't know, Dubai, the United States, the UK, The money cannot be transferred, and they stay in Russia and they work for the Russian government. The money works for the Russian government one way or another. And that's another reason. Reason number 4, why Russia has not been defeated. Instead of creating social unrest, the Western politicians have somewhat consolidated people against the government. Okay. These are 4 main reasons why Russia has not been defeated. Now, it's sinking. I absolutely, hands down, think that it's sinking. There are signs all over. If you look inside Russia, you will see things like economy is feverish. Inflation is skyrocketing, galloping. The exchange rate is Russian ruble to American dollar exchange rate. Russian ruble is devaluing. The prices for everything at stores are going up. The number of foreign made products have been cut by a great deal. There are no shortages, but there's not huge selection of goods as it used to be. Okay. There are so many. Unemployment is 2.9%, unheard of. That's a catastrophe for the labor force, for the labor market, because the economy cannot grow even if it had other means, it could not grow because look, how can you grow? There are no people to work at your company. Okay, you have to compete by raising salaries, and that's not good. There is social unrest that starts growing, and the first signs, the early birds, as I, call it, the mothers, the wives and children, the daughters of those who have mobilized and they're still fighting in Ukraine, they're still alive. There have been numerous protests all over Russia. They're being staged as I speak, okay, right now. Women, the close family members, they are uniting, okay? And that the mighty force is growing. And where it'll take us to, I'm watching. It's very interesting. So the signs that Russia is not doing well are right there. The deficit, budget deficit is growing. By the 6 months of 2024 next year, they will have used up all the fund of national well-being. That's the savings account, as I call it. So basically, they will be running out of money. That the Western politicians are waking up and they're changing the approach to the sanctions. So Russia is, the grip on Russia's throat is tightening, okay? So the 4 reasons why Russia didn't sink by the end of this year, I named you. What's next? I think there will be turmoil. What kind of outcome, what will happen, it's really hard to say at this point. We just simply do not have much information. But we have enough information to understand that Russia starts shaking in fever. The temperature is rising. And, there is a period of political and economical instability that Russia is stepping in. I mean, it's, the latest stages of this process. Big changes are coming to Russia, and could it be possible that Russia would be laying on the ocean's bottom right now? Yes. But things were done that were not in a way that were not supposed to be done, and Russia is still afloat. Okay, but it's running out of juice, so to speak, and This is my take on why Russia is still afloat. Thank you so much. This has been my message. I would love to discuss it with you in a live stream chat, so please carry on. Ask me questions. I'll try to answer everything as much as I can. While I am turning the live stream chat on, I would like to ask you to help me out to spread this message by making reposts on your social media accounts. That actually helps a lot. And before I hit the chat button, I'd like to clarify a couple things from yesterday's live stream about world news as they're seen in Russia. One of the news I presented was Henry Kissinger died at the age of 100, and he was a diplomat. I would like to clarify because I got tons of comments on that. I said that he was a great diplomat of the United States and he was respected in the USSR and later in Russia. And then people started sending me information on how bloodthirsty he was. He started so many wars, military operations, and so forth. Folks, I'm not a big expert on the politics of the United States in the mid-20th century, so I don't know whether Henry Kissinger was bloodthirsty or not. All I know is that he was respected in the USSR. He introduced détente policy that greatly improved the relation between the USA and the USSR. The result of that relationship was the first joint space mission. We were very proud of that, Soyuz Apollo. So this is my stand. This is what I think. He was great for the USSR and he was respected. He was respected in the country where I was growing up, and he was definitely known by nearly everyone. So this is it. Now I'm turning the live stream chat on. And let's do it. Let's talk a little bit. If you're not seeing the chat, please hit the refresh button. You will see it just like I did. If you're here for the first time, then please know that we have the best moderation team in the world at Inside Russia community. Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potnin, and Amir Fazad, great moderators, really good friends and fantastic mods, the best in the world. So please welcome them and cheer to them. And thank you very much for coming. The usual suspects, I'm so glad to see you in live stream chat. I missed you because yesterday's stream was no chat. Fantastic to see everyone. If you want me to see your message easier, please put it in caps, all caps, and put Inside Russia after @ sign, so I see it highlighted in orange, large orange box, just like Leitmotiv for me did. Greetings from Bowie, Maryland. Howdy, howdy. And everyone, Frank Miller, Airborne Snail, Dirk, Karina, Paula W, Christine, Koshkin Dom, Justeri, Leitmotiv, Andreas, Ken Tyler, Pamela J, Frank in Texas, Brother Randall, Old Silver, Mr. Kaliskin, long time no see, Pentium, howdy, my Baltic friend, TK Porsche, Nico from Finland, Ferrari guy, Pinda the Peanut, Bruce, fantastic to see you. Long time no see, Jimmy Penrose, Nell B, Nomad Homad. Okay, so James Marston, Bill Smith, and everyone, the usual suspects, welcome. Thanks for your support, much appreciated, but the words and the wishes and conversations are absolutely priceless. This is what I'm here for. Daniel McInnes from Canada, I appreciate your support and being sponsored. Thank you so very much. By the way, today is Thursday. Tomorrow, there will be a video. I will do my best not to have a live stream, but a video, actual video, uploaded with news updates. The news, they get crazier by the week, I'm telling you. Folks, they're just crazy. I have another portion of crazy news, and there will be no live stream chat. And on Saturday, there will be an event that I call Private Live Stream for patrons and sponsors. My way of thanking you for supporting me. Thank you so very much. Please come. We will chat. It's a smaller chat, and it's much more personal. And it's just fun 90 minutes to have. So please come back. Andrew Baker, thank you so much. No message, but your message is heard and much appreciated here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Bruce, thank you. Congratulations on 250,000 subscribers. Keep it up. Bruce, a couple things. Well, first of all, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. Fantastic to see you. You're one of the old founding members of Inside Russia community, 250,000 subscribers is definitely a milestone, 250,000. But not as big of a milestone as it was 100,000 subscribers for me. Now it's kind of like business as usual. But what you can count on me is I will keep on showing up. I'm just getting started. This is just the beginning. The feedback that I receive from you is so great that it makes me feel what I do is important, heard, watched and listened by people, and I want to do more. I want to do more of it. Thank you. So I'll be looking at the messages that are all in caps and highlighted in orange. Mr. Kaliskin from Chicago, finally able to catch live stream. You have been busy, definitely. Work. Pentium 100 megahertz. Hello. Jimmy Penrose from Edgecombe, Maine. Fantastic. Thank you so much, friend. Please say hello to wonderful state of Maine from me. The way life should be. One of the best places in the world, Mark, too, thank you so much for joining us. Fantastic to see you. Sam K, you are a legend. Lorna is asking Joe's Rames, where are the ribs? Well, I don't see any ribs here in Tashkent. No one has sent me any. I would love a piece of ribs now. Bob S, howdy. Mark Bramlett from Jacksonville, Florida, and Jacksonville, Florida is always sunny. Scotland, Theodore, howdy. Frank in Texas, from Texas. Frank Mueller from Bavaria. Mama Two Boys, howdy. Isma, hello. Justeria was a deep subject that could have been 3 streams. Thank you. One of the most difficult things when I come up with a stream is to simplify everything. Because the things that I talk about, they're so deep, they're so profound, then I could be speaking hours. You're absolutely right. That's a very deep subject. I tried to make it one stream, not three streams. Well, I hope you understood my points, and I hope you got them. So thank you. YouTube chat being weird today. Scott Nesbitt, howdy. You know what? YouTube has been acting very strangely. It did not allow me to monetize this live stream, saying that monetization was temporarily unavailable, and then after I created it not monetized, it invited me to monetize it. So very strange. Teorico, Pura Vida Trader. Did you see today Joe Blogs, mortgage debt in Russia? I know of Joe Blogs, of course. I do not watch him. I don't watch anyone on YouTube because, folks, I don't have any time. I watch a couple Russian economists that are very inside, that take Rosstat data and dig into it and find what's important. I watch them. But Joe Blogs is not one of them. There's mortgage debt in Russia. Well, I know. I don't know what I can learn from Joe Blogs. I mean, it must be interesting to watch, but I think we have the same sources, me and him. Okay, it's a good guy. He's fantastic. He does fantastic job doing his videos. It's just, don't get me wrong. It's just I know of mortgage situation in Russia. Crusader Damien, thank you so much, everyone. Crusader Damien has the best questions or comments at this community, hands down. Thank you, friend, for coming back. Congratulations. It is deserved and was achieved through honesty and an open heart to help make things a bit better. God bless you and the family. Thank you so much. Not a question, but your another great message you sent. Thank you so much. Very heartwarming. This is why I keep on going. It's not the money. It's not one of the people at the Breakfast Club, when I said, well, I'm a blogger, I do YouTube channel. He asked me, well, how many subscribers? It's the first thing everyone asks. How many subs do you have? I said, well, around 250,000. It's like, wow. Oh, you want to be famous? I don't want to be famous, I wish I could live my life like I used to be living, just having a channel with 5,000 people, doing walks in Moscow every single weekend at the places that I absolutely adored and loved. I wish I did that. I was forced to change and do what I do. So the biggest reward for me is to see the words like that, Crusader Damien. Thank you. This feedback really empowers me. It gives me motivation to keep on going. It gives me energy. It's incredible. Thank you so much. Nothing in my life I've had so great as the feedback from the members of Inside Russia. I was in business of constructing power plants. Most of you know that. And once you commence power plant and it starts working, and imagine you come to a field. We used to specialize in building, constructing greenfield, so-called greenfield projects. When you come to a pure field, there's nothing there. And then 4 years later, there's a huge, not even like one building, but there's a huge, like a small town, a bunch of buildings, and there's a huge building of the power plant and everything around them and the pipes everywhere. And then it's turned on and it starts generating power, electricity and heat. And it's distributed to the customers, to people. And that's satisfying. When you come in, there's nothing. 4 years later, you stand and boom, you turn it on and it starts working. And this is the deed that you can, it's yours. You've done that. It's not me just personally, but as a team. And everyone just celebrates and things like that. So this, doing YouTube, doing live streams is more satisfying than building power plants. Again, Crusader Damien, thank you so much. Carson Larrymore, thank you. Posted a few months ago my view on the Titanic, of the same scene with the musicians, Russian government, playing music not to panic, how bad it really is. Thank you. Fantastic analogy. Only it's not the Russian government, it's people themselves. Somehow they're blind. They keep on doing their thing. Like, it's unbelievable, folks. We call to Russia, and a lot of my friends, people I know, have left. But a lot are staying. And you call and you ask, well, how are things? What's going on? And the answer is always the same from the ones who left, who are staying. Everything's normal. Well, nothing's really going on. Everything's fine. Yeah, there are differences. There's changes, the price is higher and this and that. But generally, everything's fine. And when I ask them, like, well, we think that the worst far away, but in their bubbles, everything is fine. And then it's them who are sitting there listening for the music. And that's probably some of them even, playing the music. So great analogy. Thank you so very much. It's fantastic to have you here. Pulaski, Virginia, Terry Carter as usual. Pamela J, sunny Florida, is cold inside my house. Headache, cold, itchy, miserable. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I keep on praying for you every single day. Russia is making money using crypto, isn't it? Shiva, no. Some people might be using money, making money using crypto, but I mean, how do you imagine Russia would be making money using crypto? The ones who steal from the Russian budget, usually, they take lots of wads of cash, and then they, there are places where in the heart of Moscow, very well-known places where you can take your money and transfer into bitcoins and then, fly out of Russia and then, you can spend them anywhere. But I don't really see how Russian government is making money using crypto. Please share. Brother Randall, thank you so much for the good words. Baker Stock, thank you. Howdy. The nude player, do you still live inside Russia? If yes, how? Can you voice your opinion? Yeah, I live right next to the Kremlin. I wish I could show you. Kremlin is, 5 meters right next to the Kremlin. No, of course I don't live in Russia anymore. I fled. Go into my channel, and the first video that pops up is I documented how I was leaving Russia forever. And I had 36 hours to leave, so that's my story. Kevin Baker, the real estate team, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your information and updates. Back from my trip to Germany and Prague. Good to be back to Texas. Well, of course, everything's bigger and better in Texas. We got a good amount of snow there. Oh, I cringe. I don't like snow. Here in Tashkent, it's still warm. Well, until yesterday, day before yesterday, we still wore t-shirts every day. Now it's cooled down. In the US, it would be in your high 50s probably, and in Europe in Celsius, that's around plus 10, something like that. So not too bad for almost mid-December. The Dutch Pancake, hello from Amsterdam, howdy howdy. Sending my love to Amsterdam. Fantastic city, I've been there once. My wife spent a few weeks in Amsterdam. Old Silver, do you think, I think that the Norwegian guy Ole gave you membership. Yes, and I'm thanking him too for everyone who got the membership. Carmen V, howdy. Jonah Byron, Paula W, Colleen O'Brien. How are your Christmas holidays plans coming along? I don't really talk much about my personal plans, but that's okay. We're not planning on going anywhere. We're staying home. This is going to be, well, last Christmas I spent with my family as well. Natasha and Michael came over. This time we have the girls. They might have different plans for themselves, but they're big now. I really want everyone to stay along, but we have tons of friends actually. We would like to celebrate New Year. Christmas is definitely gonna be the family, but New Year is going to be Tashkent Breakfast Club, fellas. And we might have some friends coming over. Who knows? So Henrik, thank you so much from Denmark. Thank you. I appreciate your support. Dirk, how can I change the color of the star? I like blue more. Put star. You talking about that light I have? John Wakamatsu from Los Angeles. Folks, I was going over the memberships today. YouTube asked me to review the memberships, basically to take a look at them, and I saw that couple people, and I'd like to name them, are members of Inside Russia sponsorship program for 24 months. 24 months, incredible. Let me give you the name. The first one and the oldest member is Susan M. I'm not sure if she shows up, but she's still a member. I remember when I worked in Moscow and Rostov, Susan was there, most of the times. Hang on one second. Now I want to make a list and put it on a community post. Just as my appreciation of those members who are very long-standing members. Let's put it this way. The second member. Susan M. and Lorraine Prasnowski, both 24 months. Harry Potman, Frank in Texas, 22 months. And quite a few people, 21 months. Hygris, Hyrdis, Geirdal, Sandy De Basilio, Harry Stoneworth, Nina Minard, Dave Henderson, and thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Thank you. Money is not number one, but it's important because that's the only way I have now to support the family. Hang on, let me get back to the stream. VJ, Konstantin, I just got booted from the coffee club because I wore a t-shirt. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, come back to Tashkent Breakfast Club. You're welcome to wear anything you want. Just wear something. Aspen English, howdy friend. I hope your daughter is fine. We used to pray for her. Please let us know how she's doing. Pray for the innocent people caught up in this mess. Yep, me too. Thank you. Tom W, howdy. Koshkin Dom, hello, hello. Pamela J, I'm quiet because I feel terrible. Sick, itchy, cold. Oops. Well, computer is safe, but my tea is kind of toast. I'm problem. Fudge. Так. I was gonna say Pamela J will keep you in prayer today. Of course, that's just itchy. Jekyll N, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for coming back. Fantastic to see you. Usually you don't send any messages along with the super chats, but you did this time, and thank you. That's a pleasure. You need money to pay some people to look the other way sometime. Well, yeah, that's true. And John Wakamatsu, I think. Yes, from Los Angeles. Buy some tea. Yeah, I just knocked my cup over. I definitely need some more tea. Thank you. VJ, I'm working on a 24-hour chess factory. I'm on nights this week. That's interesting. Lord of War movie with Nicolas Cage. Yeah, I think so. In Russian, it's called The Weapons Baron. Something like that. So check this movie out. That's good. That's about Russia. That's how they were stealing what was made in the USSR. Debbie, thank you so much. Everything you bring to the chat is always interesting and entertaining. Thank you so much. I saw that you had a daughter in the weekend chat. Hope you're getting better. My problem is I don't sleep much, and I might sleep 5 hours and then at daytime 1 or 2 hours, something like that. That's the biggest driver of problems for me. I'm doing fine. My allergies are gone. As you see, I don't have stuffed nose anymore. All in all, things are good. Not bad. Daughter is fine too. Thank you so very much. Constantine needs a sippy cup of this tea. Know what? I just need to be a little... Well, I can't say I'm not careful, but these things happen, Definitely don't need a sippy cup, but Semke, thank you so much for the for the super chat. Okay, I'm sorry. T-shirt. It was a T-shirt. Coffee Club. There you go. Well, I'm slow. I'm sorry. Dive Crew Canada is sick. Wow, that's not good. Let's pray for you too. So anything I'm missing? Lord of War is about Odessa, how they were shipping things out of Odessa, hardware. I've been to Odessa port. I knew some people who were doing that, who were involved. The movie is spot on. Crusader Damien, somehow I missed your super chat. I apologize. Now I'm getting to it. How do the folks at the Breakfast Club view the political and military aid situation in the U.S. regarding Ukraine? Aid will come to Ukraine from the USA 100%. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, 100% of people at the Breakfast Club have one position, political stand, because I've had a couple people who supported the war show up and I just kicked them out. I said, well, this is not the place for you. You know, we have people coming from Ukraine, from Kharkov, the ones who, there was a family who was under bombardment by Russian missiles. They fled first to the western Ukraine, then to Prague, and then to Tashkent. Okay, they're my friends. They come to Breakfast Club regularly. We have the family from Mariupol who were right there in the heart of invasion. You know, they left Mariupol, I think, a couple days before Russian army came. March 8th or March 9th or something like that. I invited them to have a lecture, tell their story. Okay, they gave them stage, and I sent them to another Russian channel. So I made an introduction. So they shared their story. It's absolutely horrendous and tragic with everyone, as many people as they want. So Crusader Damien, the aid is cheered for. That's how. People are asking, what's taking them so long? Yes, Paula W. That movie, you could not recall the name of it. It's Nicolas Cage is in it, and it was made in 2008 or 2009, a long time ago. It was called Lord of War, I think. That's what someone says. I meant, are they worried that aid from the U.S. will stop? Is it just how politics works in the U.S.? Yes, actually, as a matter of fact, a lot are worried that aid will diminish or stop. Well, it's because everyone keeps talking about it. I turn on the Western media, and then people turn to me. A lot of people turn to me for my opinion, and I just tell them what I see. You know, American politicians are fighting. Biden is fighting the Republican Party for that. Republicans want to promote their agenda and stuff like that. I mean, I understand how the politics work, but it doesn't matter. The aid is not there, if you know what I mean. I think they just approved another package, $150 million. More ammo, more rockets, more military stuff. What I was trying to make this point, perhaps I didn't make it clear enough, is that the Russians are working really hard on producing, manufacturing everything, the hardware. Old, outdated, technologically primitive, but still they are working 3 shifts. And that's true. And they're paying a lot for that, probably much more than they need to. And people steal inside the military-industrial complex. But they have enough money from that oil access, extra revenues that they received. And by the way, this fall they also received quite a bit of money. I think $11 billion just in October alone. So when the oil prices were, at first they helped stage Hamas-Israel war, and then the prices went up, and then they benefited. You know, that's how they work. It's scum. You know. Anyway. So Crusader Damien, thanks for letting me know. I will tell everyone that 100% at least what you're saying. But we'll see. Charlie B from Pacific Beach. Howdy. Hang on 1 second, folks. I wanna... Hang on, please, just give me a second. I gotta consult the HQ. There you go. Okay, thank you. Lord of War, Melissa Harden. It must be Lord of War. In Russia, it's the weapon baron or something like that. No birthdays I missed, right? You know what? I meant to mention this, folks. Very strange. I looked at the section of my YouTube channel where it says comments, only the comments being reviewed. I never looked there. And I saw tons of normal comments. Like, for example, the first comment was from Dirk Misler. He was commenting something like, "Oh, it was a good stream today." And YouTube did not let the comment appear. It's sent for additional review. So please, if your comments don't appear somehow, that's not me. I never delete anyone. It's YouTube. YouTube is acting very, very unusual lately. So thank you. No, VJ, I did not spill the tea in a laptop. Of course not. I have laptop is... This is the first time it happened, by the way. Laptop is... I take extra precautions for things like that. So, no. Thank goodness that everything's fine. It's not a big deal. Just need to wipe it out. So this is it. Folks, thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. I hope that you found it interesting, valuable. So let's hope that the war is over soon. Let's pray for that. And I invite everyone to pray along with me. If you're religious, if you're not, pray along with me anyway. You can call it any way you like. Sending people good wishes, vibes, wishing good, anything. It doesn't matter. I think the idea is still the same. Let's do that, folks. Так. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving us roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads peaceful and safe, and raise them in a way that when they become adults, they'll never fight in any wars, and we'll just be good friends to each other, to one another, and they will make this world a better place. For now, please keep our children safe and healthy. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. The country and people suffered so much, and it needs to stop. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people responsible for this tragedy and capable of making decision to stop, and have them stop. Fill their hearts with love, mercy, empathy, remorse. Soften their hearts so they make the decision to stop. Open their eyes so they get horrified at what they've done and they will make decision to stop. Please help every single Ukrainian who's been affected by this terrible tragedy. Please help them answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Send angels to help everyone in Ukraine to keep them safe. Help everyone who is currently under the attacks of Russian missiles, Russian weapon. Please keep everyone safe. Help my country, Russia, by sending the army of your strongest angels with sharpest swords and knives, led by Saint Michael in shining armor, to come down to this earth and get rid of the demons who have hijacked my country. Please have angels help good people run Russia, make it peaceful, respected, respecting, loving, and loved. Please help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Help those who are seeking for asylum of any kind. Help them. Help those single mothers who are struggling, raising their children, trying to make ends meet. Help those who are sick, hungry, homeless, jobless, depressed, addicted, struggling with their faith, not feeling good about themselves and about their lives, not feeling well in general. Please help everyone in need. Fill their hearts with love so they feel it. They feel your love. They feel you. They feel they're not alone in this world. They're not lonely. They feel your presence, your warmth, and your glory. So they feel better about themselves and about their lives, and they will get better, and have a good life. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing us to create this community. Thank you for allowing us to pray together. Thank you for everyone who's praying along with me right now or simply watching us pray. Dear Lord, please answer everyone's wishes and hear everyone's prayers and answer them too. Make everyone's dreams come true. Thank you so very much. Dear Lord, I would like to ask you for all people who need your help. There are people in our community, and there are many more people in other communities all over the world who need your help. You know who they are better than I do. You know their names. You know their pains. You know their prayers, wishes, and you know their situation. Please help all people in need. Answer prayers of everyone who is praying to you right now. Please help everyone who is sick. Please help everyone who is heartbroken, betrayed. Give everyone peace so they feel better about their lives. Please help members of our community. Thank you so much for allowing us to come and to be able to pray for everyone. Thank you, dear Lord Jesus Christ, for everything. Amen. Folks, thank you so much. You're absolutely awesome and you rock. Fantastic to see you. It was a good stream today. I will see you tomorrow in video, in the comments. You know, I always look at the comments. Might not answer them all, but I definitely look through the comments and I see most of them. Thank you so very much. You're absolutely awesome and you rock. And I would like to ask you to finish off the stream with usual. I would like you to say out loud as you can. Repeat after me. Carthago delenda est.